Welcome to Pastor Jerome TV. I'm your host, Pastor Jerome Davison, and James Comey may have hung himself with his own sheet of paper on his memo, because the memo that he supposedly wrote thinking that President Donald Trump was some kind of way impeding justice, he may have hurt himself in a very serious way. The first way that I think that he really opened up a can of worms is that talking about he makes serious notes whenever he senses something that's important, and he sensed that this meeting with President Donald Trump, and President Donald Trump was supposedly asking him to consider letting this thing go with Michael Flynn. Okay, if this did happen, if President Donald Trump did say consider letting this thing go with Michael Flynn, it's not a serious matter. But a quick note to President Donald Trump: you know, you got to stop this sophistry. You got to stop this little trying to be friends and buddies with people. The people around you do not like you. They hate you, and they want to see you impeached, and they'd rather see you dead. So stop trying to, if you did say that, you know, which is not an impeachable crime, but if you did say that, don't do that. You know, you need to focus on the American agenda, the agenda of the people, and draining the swamp. And you got to be like you was on the campaign trail. You got to be a trailblazing cutthroat. And you can't be nice to these people, because these people have been around for a long time, and you are sticking your hand in their filthy Kool-Aid, and you're messing with the swamp right now. And there are a lot of dangerous swamp creatures, you know, who don't like you. They don't like you, Mr. Donald Trump, Mr. President. They don't like you, sir. And you need to get some people around you, you know, who are cutthroats. Jeff Sessions, I love the way Jeff Sessions is handling business. You need more people like Jeff. So now, back to the notes. Now, if James Comey, the 7-foot dummy, was so, you know, alert to making these notes, well, then there's got to be a lot of notes when it comes to Anthony Weiner and what he saw in Anthony Weiner's emails. There's got to be a lot of memo notes when it comes to Hillary Clinton and what she was doing with the emails and with the servants. Got to be a lot of stuff on that. And so these things are going to probably be subpoenaed, you know, for him to come and testify before the Senate. So that's one way that he hung himself with his own little so-called memo stuff. Number two, if he considered and if he thought for any moment that President Donald Trump was committing a crime, he was supposed to report that to the Department of Justice. And if he did not report that to the Department of Justice, he could have some time in prison. So if he goes before the Senate and he starts testifying, and he says that if he says out of his mouth that he thought that President Donald Trump was trying to impede justice, he's in trouble. He's going to prison. Now, if he gets up there and say, well, okay, well, I just thought it was just something to make a note of, and that he wasn't trying to impede justice, nothing's going to come out of this. Nothing's going to come out of it either way in any shape or form. But Mr. President, sir, please stop being nice to these people. You know, stop being nice to people around you. The people around you don't like you, and they want to see some terrible things happen to you. And what I would like to see you do is focus on the agenda, getting the jobs going that you're doing. I mean, you have infused the American economy with over 200,000 jobs, and the media is no one's going to celebrate that, but the American people are listening and they're watching. Okay, you've declared your innocence. Forget it. Let's keep on moving on. Mueller is there now, and I believe that he's a good guy, but don't trust him and don't rely on anybody. You keep moving the country forward. You know, Keep moving the country forward, keep doing what you're doing, and then get rid of some of those people around you. Drain the swamp. See, the deep state and the people that have been around in this thing for a long time, the FBI, the CIA, and all of these agencies are very liberal and very dangerous and dirty. And when you start draining the swamp and getting rid of people and exposing people's crimes and exposing their lifestyle and exposing their spending and waste of American dollars, well then you're messing with their lifestyle, and you're also threatening them going to prison for a long time. They're not going to have that. The swamp monster is going to fight you left and right. And don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't question it for any second. You already know it. You've already said it on the campaign trail 1,000 times that American media is nothing but a beast, nothing but foul, dirty creatures. And you've got to start doing your weekly meetings with someone from Fox News, somebody that you trust, or either Alex Jones. I mean, I know Alex Jones did something dirty or whatever. I know people are upset with him, but Alex Jones was a trailblazer when it comes to having alternative news. And the media and these swamp creatures made sure that they knocked him down in the sight of those of us who love truth and who are alternative news seekers. But Alex Jones still has some relativity. He still have a voice, and I know he messed with the code there a little bit, but I do believe that he still have some work to do when it comes to exposing truth, and they know that too, and that's why they knocked Alex Jones down. You should do like a weekly briefing with him for the American public to see. I like the tweeter thing, but you got to calm down on some of the tweeting and just be strategic. And Mr. President, you got to be strategic. You just can't just say stuff off the top of your head. And so they're going to take everything you do. If you look left too long, they're going to make a big note of that. If you look right too long, they're going to make a big mess of that. And so you've got to have some people around you that can help you, and then you have to listen, Mr. President, because people are saying that you're not. There's some people around you that love you and care about you and want to see you succeed, but you have to listen. You put some people around you that you can trust. But James Comey has hung himself. He's done himself a disservice, and this also exposes the fact that he is political, because out of all the dirt that was coming from the emails from Clinton, the tarmac incident with Lynch and President Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton, there should have been a whole lot of memos and notes on that from Comey, but there hadn't been. There was no exposure, and he called himself doing some kind of backlash on his way out since he got fired, but that was a sissy homosexual type sissy move, and we can see that James Comey is a pedophile who prefers little boys, which is, I mean, how do you describe that? Of course it's pedophilia, but it's also homosexual pedophilia. You're a homophile, and you're real filthy and really dirty. But the swamp creature, Mr. President, is going to fight back. You've made some nice little chops here and there, but slaying the head of this dragon, slaying the head off of this dragon and killing it is going to be a whole nother thing. And you've got to be more vicious, and you have to be more wise, and you've got to start getting rid of some people and bringing some people in that you can trust. So the swamp creature is very deep, and these people writing memos and lying and conniving and trying to push you down and take you down, it's not going to stop until you start really chopping some heads off. You've got to be more firm, Mr. President. You got to be more cutthroat like you did. You got to do that. You're fired. Set Mr. Jeff Sessions loose and let him start doing some more chopping. But don't forget, Mr. President, let's keep America moving forward, and let's make it great again. Pastor Jerome Davison.